Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can design this beautiful business website. Now, you don't need to have any coding knowledge to be able to design this. Even as a beginner, you are going to have the same. You'll be able to design exactly what I have here. So let's navigate through the site. Let me visit one of these services page. Now, this is what I have here. This is beautiful. So after you are done watching this video, everything I have here, you will be able to duplicate. This is a link to one of my YouTube video. If I click on this, take me to this video. So I'm going to show you how you can embed a YouTube video on a website and how you can design this. Everything that I have here, I'm going to show you how you can do them. So what you are just going to do is that you need to watch this video to the end. Don't skip any part of this video, and go ahead and like this video, subscribe to this channel. All right guys, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to come over here. I'm going to access the back end or the dashboard of my website. So I'm going to type the URL of my site. The URL of my site is scholarprime.com.ng /wp-admin. So you are going to type the URL of your site /wp-admin. So if you are using a subdomain, of course you know what to do. You're going to type your subdomain /wp-admin and then hit on my enter key. So this is what we have. So you are going to input your username in this username field and then your password. Then you click on login. So this is a dashboard of my website. In case you don't have a domain and hosting, a video just popped up at the top right of your screen. Go ahead and click on that video, watch that video, and then that video will guide you on how you can buy domain and hosting at a cheap rate. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a theme that I'm going to use to design this site. The theme I'm going to use is called Astra. So I'll come over here to themes. And then this time around, I'm going to click on add new theme. So in our previous lessons, I showed you how you can upload a theme that you have downloaded into your computer. So, but today, I'm just going to use one of the themes that we have here. We have Astra. This is the theme I'm going to use to show you how you can design this beautiful website. So I will come over here and click on install. Then I'm going to go ahead and activate this theme. So now this theme has already made templates. So, but I'm not going to install any templates. I'm going to show you how you can design this thing from ground or from scratch. So I will come over here. I'll come over to plugins. Now ensure you delete everything here before you start installing plugins. So I'm going to click on this and then select delete and then apply. Okay, I need to go ahead and deactivate this theme first before I go ahead and delete it. So I have done that, so I can now click on delete. Now this is successful. So the first plugin I'm going to add is called Elementor. So I'm going to come over here and search on Elementor. So I'm going to install Elementor Page Builder. I'm going to activate. Now you come over here and add a plugin called Essential Add-ons for Elementor. So I'm going to install this plugin, Essential Add-ons for Elementor. Click on install. So just click on next, 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 next. No thanks. So I'm going to add another plugin. Now this is called Form. So I'm going to install this plugin. So I'm going to activate. So let me click on my dashboard. Now you see we have all these things. This dashboard doesn't look nice. So if I want to clear all this, I can just click on this and then remove this guy here, remove this guy here. Or apart from that, if you don't want to have all these on your dashboard, all these updates and status of your site here, so what you are going to do, you just come over here to screen options, you click on screen options. Now you see WP made stories. If you unselect this, unselect this, unselect this, unselect this, you see, so we don't have anything here. So but I'm just going to keep this. I think that's all. So, and then what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to come over here to settings, go to permalinks, then I'm going to select post names. So this is very, very important. What we have here determines the link structure of your site. I'm going to save changes. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add all the pages that we'll be using to design this website. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to delete everything I have here. So I'm going to select all and then move all to trash. So I'm going to add a page, but before that, let me go and add a plugin called Classic Editor. So I'm going to install this plugin, Classic Editor. So I'm going to activate this plugin. So I will come over here to all pages, click on all pages. We don't have any page here. Ensure you don't have anything here yet. So I'm going to just click on add new page. So I'm going to create my home page. So I'm just going to call this page home. So I'm going to publish. So I will come over here and then add a new page. I'm going to call this services page. Services. So I'm going to save. So I'm going to add about us. Then I'm going to create contact us page. I'm going to create UI UX design. And lastly, for now, I'm going to create a web design. Web design page. I'm going to publish. So let's over on this and then right click and then open this in a new tab and see what we have. Now this is what we have. So if I go back here, now click on all pages. Now our home, if I view this home, right click and open this on a new tab. Now this is what we have as our home page. But so if you check the URL structure now, we have my domain name /home. And of course, it's not supposed to be like this, because if this is my home page, I won't expect a user or a visitor to type the URL of my site and then put /home. So if I remove this /home, now this is what we have. So I want to make this guy to be my home page, such that when once a visitor types the URL of my site, scholarprime.com.ng, it will take that visitor to this page. So how do I do that? I'll go back to my dashboard, to my settings, then go to reading. So I'm going to select static page, come over to where I have home page, then I'm going to select home. So I'm going to save changes. Now, if you see what is written here, your home page displays. So if you type the URL of my site, it should take you to this home page here. Let's see what we have. So if I refresh this, now this is what we have. This becomes our home page now. I don't need to put /home to take me down here. So what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to come over here, and then if I should select these services and make these services my home page, for instance, and save. If I come down here, this will become my home page. So, but I'm going to make this home to be my home page. So I'm going to come over here and then select home and then save changes. So I'm going to go back to all pages. So here I'm going to click on edit. Then I'm going to click on edit with Elementor, because we're going to use Elementor to build this beautiful website here. Elementor was used to design this beautiful website, so I'm going to edit with Elementor to enable me do something like this. Because Elementor is a page builder, you have to understand that Elementor is a page builder. It is Elementor that will enable you to bring out this awesome design. So I'm going to come over here and then click on Edit with Elementor. So this is what we have. So I'm just going to click on this guy and remove it. So this is our page builder. Now Elementor is very, very simple to use. You don't even need to write any code to bring out this awesome design. It's just a drag and drop tool. There are so many of them here. We have heading, we have image, we have text editor. This is video button. So if I want this, I can just drag and drop here. So you see, so that is it. So under layout, we have container. Now this container is very, very important, and you must understand how this container works. If you understand how container works, then you can bring out any layout of your choice. Now, if I want this container here, I can just drag and drop. Now I have a layout here, and you can just come over here and click on this plus icon. So you have different structures here. All right, so let's go ahead and design this hero section that we have here. So I'm going to come over here, then select this structure. So I'm going to set this to be full width. So this px signifies pixel. So I'm going to set it to viewpoint height. So I'm going to make it 85. So this is what we have. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to come over here and click on this icon here, and then come over to style, and then select a background type, and then hover on this and choose image. So I'm going to select files to upload. I'm going to click on web design images. So in the description of this video, I have dropped a link to enable you download all these images, so as to enable you follow me step by step. So I will come over here to where I have home hero section. So I'm just going to click on this, open. So I'm going to select. Now this is what we have. So what I'm going to do, this doesn't look nice. So I'll come over here and then I will select center. Then I'll come over to where we have repeat, no repeat. Then to display size, I'm going to set it to be cover. And this is better. So I will update this. So the next thing I'm going to do, if you look at this, we have this text here. So I will come over here and click on this widget and drag in this heading widget. And then I'm going to just copy this. Explore the secret formula to get success. Just going to paste it here. So I'm going to set this to be center, and then I'm going to come over to style, typography. I'm going to set this to be Fira Sans. So I'm just going to make this size to be 90. Let's try 70. All right, so 75 will be better, 75. Then I will come over here and then change this guide to this EM, and then I'm going to write 1.1. This is a line height. So if I should increase this to 5, line height simply means the text, the space between what we have here and what we have here. So if I reduce it to 0, this is how it looks like. It's not nice, so I'm just going to set it to be 1.1. This spacing here is okay. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to come over to content, and then I'm going to put a break here. Now this short code here, this code here simply means if you want, let's say if I want to make this text, the secret, to be on the second line, I can just remove this thing here, and then I can just remove this, and then I can just put here. I can just put this code here, and then the secret formula to get success will break to the second line. So but I'm going to remove it here. Then I'm going to put it where I have formula or the secret. Let's see what we have here. Okay, explore the secret. So I'm going to come over here, and then all right, this is nice. So I'm going to change this color to white. So I'm going to select white. This text is not really visible because this background, because of the nature of this background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a background overlay to enable this text to be visible. So to do that, I'll come over here and click on this guy. I'm going to edit the container. and then come over to background overlay. Then I'm going to click on classic, select the color and make the color to be black. Then the opacity, set it to be 0.5. Now you see that this color is visible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make this text to be on the center. I'm going to make this text to be in the center. So I'll come over to layout, and then I'm going to come over here to justify content and make it center. So this is really nice. So we have, this is nice. So this is exactly the same as this guy here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a text editor and then drop here. So I'm going to come over to widgets, and then we have text editor here. I'm just going to drag and then drop it here. So I'm going to copy the text I have here. I'm just going to paste it here. Then I'll come over here to style and set the color to be white. Then I'm going to align it to center. But before that, I'll come over here to this, our heading text, and then I'm going to increase the font weight of this text. I'll come over here to typography, then increase this weight to 700. Oh, this is better now. So what we have here is the button here. So I'm going to do the same. I'll just look for button. I will come over to widgets, click on widgets, drag this button here, the one we have here. So I'm just going to drag and then drop it here. So we have discover now. So I'm just going to come over to where I have text and then type discover now. So I'm going to align this button to center. I want this to take me to my contact page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this hash here. So I'm going to type contact. And once you type contact, the page will display here. So you click on the page. So automatically this button is linked to your contact us page. So I'm going to style this button. I'll come over to where I have style here. I will come over here, click on background. We want to change this background. If you look at this, there is a gradient color here. This guy is light, this guy is deep. There are two different colors that is being used to style this button here. I'm just going to show you how you can do that. So I'll go back to my home, and then I'll come over here to background type, select this guy. Okay, I'm going to select gradient. So now my first color is hash 8B0E2D. So this is my first color. So I'm just going to save this color because we are going to be using this color throughout our design. So I'm going to click on create new global color. I can just call this wine color. Pardon me guys, I have problem with colors. This might not be wine color, but well, you can call it any color you want to call it. So I'm just going to create, and then now if you look at this, there's another color here. So I will come over here and then select the second color. Then the code is hash E68099. So now I'm going to I'm going to save this color as well. So I can call this color a light pink. Like I said, when it comes to color, I'm not really good. So this might not be light pink. You can call it any color you want to. So I'm going to create this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set this angle to be 90 degrees. Now, if you studied mathematics, you know what this means. So 180 is horizontal like this, and then 90 is like this. So I'm going to set this to be 90 degrees. So you see, one color is this side, the other color is this side. So what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to come over here to padding. So I'm going to give this button padding. So let's say this guy, I'm going to make this guy 20. I'm going to make bottom 20. I'm going to make right 40. I'm going to make left 40. Let's see what we have here. All right. So I'm going to give this button a border radius. So I can give this button a border radius of 30. So what I'm going to do again is I'm going to increase the font size of this text here. So to do that, I will come over here to where I have style. Then click on typography. I'm going to change this text to Fira Sans. So I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to set the font size to be 18. Let's see what we have here. All right, so I'm going to set this to be 16. Okay, 16 is perfect. Now, if you look at this button here, if you hover on this button, this button will float. So we are going to implement this. This is called animations. So I'm going to click on this button and then come over to this tile here. And I'm going to select hover. I want it in a way that when you hover on this button, the button will float. So I will come over to hover animation. Then I'm going to select float. So if I hover on this, it floats. So I'm just going to update it now. So let's preview and see what we have. So this is what we have. This is really nice. So now if you look at this, there is a kind of curve here at the bottom of this hero section. So I'm going to implement this in our design. Let me show you how you can do that. So I'll come over here, click on this guy, this container, and then come over to style. Come over to where we have shape divider. Then this is top, this is bottom. So if I want to change the shape of this my hero section here at the top, so I can just come over here, click on mountains. You see the shape has changed. So cloud, it has changed, but this is not nice. So I'm not going to implement this at the top of my hero section. So I'm going to come over here and select none. So I'm going to click on bottom. This is where I want to implement a shape divider. So I will come over here to none. Then I will come over to curve. So this is not what we want. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here and click on invert. So if I click on invert, it has changed. So I'm going to set the height. So I'm going to change this width. I'm going to give a width of 120. I'm going to change this height to 400. Now this is exactly what we have here. So I'm going to save this. So let's preview and see what we have. Now this is exactly what we have here. So this is awesome. The next thing we are going to do is that we are going to add this services section here. We're going to implement this in our design. So you see, if I hover on this, you can see the hover effect here and all this. So what I'm going to do is I'll come over to my design, and then I'm going to select this container. Then I will click on this. Then I'm going to come over to advanced, and then I'm going to give it a padding of 60. Now let me explain the difference between padding and margin. Now padding here gives space inside the container. Padding creates a space inside the container. You can see this space that is being created inside the container, while margin creates space outside the container. So let me delete this guy here. Now let me put in a margin of 60. You'll see the difference. Now you see a space has been created outside the container. You can see the difference. If I delete this, it returns to its normal state. So if I should put 60 here, a space has been created inside the container. So that is just the difference between margin and padding. So I'm going to come over here to my widget, and then I'm going to drag this text and then drop here. So now I'm going to come over here, copy this text, our feature services. I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to come over here and select and make this to be center. Then I'm going to come over here and set this to be H4 tag. So I'm going to come over here to style. Now, I don't need to click on this guy and write the color code again, because I saved the color as a global color. So I will just come over here to wine color, the color I saved. So I'm just going to click on this, and here is it. So I will come over here to typography. I'm going to change this text to Fira Sans. Now I'm going to change, let's see what we have here. Okay. So I'm going to make this to be font size to be 20. So let me change this to Fira Sans Condensed. So, and then I'm going to reduce this to 500. Then I will return this guy to H2. All right, this is perfect. And drag this text, heading text again, and drop somewhere here. All right, this is awesome. So I will just come over here and copy this. Just copy this guy, and then come over here and then paste it here. So I'm going to change the color we have here is white or black. So I will come over here and then to style, I will change this to black. But if you look at this now, if you look at this, there's a break here. After exclusive, we have services for clients in the next line. So we are going to implement that by just coming over here, by just inserting a break code here, which is less than, BR, greater than. That is the code. This is what you use to implement a break in your text. So this is awesome. So I'm going to centralize this guy. I'll come over to style, and then I'm going to increase the font size to 70 pixels. I'm going to change this font family to Fira Sans Condensed. So this is awesome. I'm going to save it. Okay, I'm going to change the weight to 700. The next thing we're going to implement is this section here. So I'll come over here. So I'm just going to drag in another container. So I will drag in this container and drop here. Then I'm going to save this. So I'm going to set this content width to full width. And then let's see what we have here. So now there is a container here. There's a container here, and that is like a parent container. Now what we are seeing inside here are also containers. So they are like the children. There's a parent container that contains all these children containers. So what I'm going to do is that I will come over here and drag in another container. So I will click on my widget, and I'm going to drag this container and drop here. So I will click on this guy here. Remember, there are two containers inside this box. So let me show you what you need to do in case you have so many containers and then you don't know the one to use. So see what I'm going to do. I'm going to right click to navigator. I'm going to select navigator. Now this navigator will help you detect all the structures in your website. For instance, if I want to locate this heading here, if I click on this now, it will select this heading here. I click on this, it will select this heading here. Now you can see that this container is under this container. So this container now is like a child. This guy is like a parent. So if I click on this, you know that this is a container, like a parent. Now that's why you see that this one is like a subset of this guy here. So if I click on this, it tells you that this container is inside this one. Maybe if you want to edit this second container, maybe you are being confused on the one to select here. You just right click and then come over to navigator. From here, it will be easier for you to locate and style the container that you want to style. So I will click on this guy now. Then I will come over here and select full width. Then percentage, I'm going to set it to be 32. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to drag in what we call image box. Now, what is used to implement this is called image box. So I'm going to do that here. So I will click on my widget and then search image box. So I'm going to drag image box and drop here. So what I will come over to style and I'll click on left. So I'm going to edit this title. I will just come over here and copy the title I have here. So I will just paste it here and then copy the text here. I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to change this image. What we have here is an animated icon. So I will just come over here and then upload. So I will come over to icon folder. I will click on it. So I will locate, this is the image, crayon.gif. So I'm going to click on open. So I'm going to select. So we have this icon here. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'll come over here and drag in a button. just right after this text. So I'm going to change the text to discover more. Discover more. Then I'm going to insert an icon. So this, I'm going to make this icon to be after this text, like what we have here. So I'm going to remove this background. Before that, let me style this title and this text here. So I'll just click on this. I will come over here and then to content. Then remember, we save our color as a global color. So I'm just going to click on this and then select wine color. I'm going to select the typography, change this guy to Fira Sans Condense. I'll click on it. Alright, so okay, let's change to Fira Sans. So what we have. Alright, this is perfect. So I'm going to change this guy to 700. I'm going to increase the font size to 20 to 30. So I'm going to save it. So I'll click on it. I'll come over to description. So I'll just come over here and then set the typography to be Fira Sans. I'm going to update. Then I'll click on this button here. I'll come over to style and then color. I'm going to reduce this background and make it transparent, and then I will come over here to text color and I'm going to set this color. I'll come over to typography here. I'm going to change this to Fira Sans Condense. I'm going to increase this to 600. The font size, I'm going to make it 28. Or it's too big, 20. Okay, let's try 18. Okay, this is okay. I think it's exactly what we have here. Oh, it's much smaller. So I'm going to reduce it to 16. Okay, this is perfect. So if you look at this, you discover that this button is centralized. So I will just do the same thing here. I will come over here to content, then I will click on center. All right, this is perfect. This is perfect. So we're going to update. Now, if you look at this guy, you discover that once you hover on this, where there's a kind of hover effect on this, and it looks very nice. So we are going to implement this. So to do that is very, very simple. I'll just go back and then click on my container here. So you see, always ensure that this navigator is on so that you will know that you're on the right track, because if you click on this, that is the parent container. So this is the child container. So I will come over to where I will come over to style. Then I will locate border. I will click on over, because I want to see over effects when I hover on any of these services. So what I'm going to do is I will come over here and click on box shadow. Make sure you click on this over first. Then I will click on box shadow. And then I will change the color. I will reduce this guy to 0.2. So I'm going to set the blur to be like 40. I will set the spread to be like -10. Then I will come over to background here and click on classic. I want to change this background to be white. So I'm going to let's update and see what we have. So let's preview our site and see how it looks like. So I'm going to click on this. If you hover on this, you see this awesome over effect. But let's see how this one looks like. Alright, this is awesome. So I'm just going to go back again. So we are going to duplicate this guy, because if you check here, because if you check here, there are like 6 here. So what I'm going to do to make the job easier is that I'm going to duplicate all these things and then change all this title and then this description. So I'm going to duplicate this guy. I'm just going to right click and then click on duplicate. Now you discover that the duplication is on a vertical axis, which is not what we want. We want it to be on the horizontal axis. So I'm just going to delete this guy again. I'm just going to delete this guy. Now see what you're going to do. You're going to come over to the parent container, which is this. And then you come over here to direction. You're going to set the direction to be horizontal or row. But if I duplicate this child again, it's going to duplicate horizontally. So I will just right click and then click on duplicate. There's something I want to show you. You don't need to be right clicking all the time to click on duplicate. There's an easy way to do that. Let me show you how you can do that. Come over here, click on this, come over here, click on this, and then this editing handles, we're going to set it to be yes, and then you update. You're just going to click on this widget again. So if you want to duplicate, it becomes very simple. You just need to come over here, you hover on this, and then you click on this, it will duplicate. So I'm going to click on this again, hover on this, click on this. Now this is not what we want. Now remember, we set our width to be 32%. So by right, it's supposed to be 3 here, because 32 times 3 gives you 96. We set the width of the parent container to be 100%, which this is what we have here. But it's not supposed to contain more than 3 of these child containers. I'm just going to remove this guy and then see what I'm going to do. I will click on the parent container again, which is this. Then come over here to wrap, select wrap. Now with this, now if I should duplicate this guy again, it will move to the next line here. So I will just hover on this and duplicate. Now this is awesome. So I'm going to duplicate again. So you see, that means if you don't select this wrap, what happens is that even when you set the width of the parent container to be 100%, if you keep on duplicating, this content here will stretch. If you keep on duplicating, it will not move to the next line. Now this is awesome. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to change everything here. Like here we have SEO and marketing. I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to copy this, come over here, click on this, just change the title. Then I'll come over here, copy the description, and then I'm just going to paste it here. So I'm going to change this animated icon. So I'll come over here and click on this, choose image, upload files, come over here. Here is it worldwide. So I'm just going to select this. So you will do the same thing for all these. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause this video and then change the remaining ones. Alright, welcome back guys. I'm done changing all this. I'm going to show you where you can download these animated icons. Before that, I'm just going to update. So let me show you where you can download these animated icons in case you want to download it for your own use. So you come over to a site called flaticon.com. You click on it. One of the menu icons here is animated icon, so you can click on this. There are a lot of them here. So you can see this is awesome. So if you are looking for any icon, you can just come over here. Let me try hosting and then enter. Let's see what we are going to see here. So we have look at the one we use here. So there are a lot of them here. So you just need to click on it and download it. It's as simple as that. So let's go back to our design. So let's see, the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to design this beautiful section here. Now if you look at this section here, there is a background image here. There's a background image here. So we're going to do that just now. So we're going to implement this. So let's go back. So I'm just going to remove this for now. Then I'm going to click on this plus icon. I'm going to select this guy here, this container. Now I'm going to click on this container Then I'm going to give it a padding of 60 to the top, right, bottom, and left. This is what we have. So let's see what we have here again. All right, this is beautiful. So I will come over here and then click on style. So we're going to set a background image. I will choose image, click on upload files. All right, here is it. So I will come over to, all right, so I'm going to select this guy. I think this should be, okay, this is it. All right, this is the image. So I'm just going to open it. All right, so you come over to position, set it to the center. You come over to the display size and set it to be cover. All right, this is beautiful. Then repeat, no repeat. So I'm going to drag in this heading text widget here. So I'm going to come over here and click on widget. Then I'm going to drag this guy and drop here. So I will just come over here and copy this text. I'll come over to style, change the color to our wine color, and then typography, I'm just going to reduce it to 20. All right, this is perfect. I'm going to change this font family to Fira Sans Condensed. All right, so let's see what we have. So I'm going to drag in this widget. I'll come over here. So I'm going to set this to be 22. So I'll click on this widget and then drag in this heading widget again. I'm just going to come over here and then copy this. Come over here and to paste it here. I'm going to increase the font size to be 60 because we use 60 here, and then ensure that your font size is always uniform. I use 60 here, so I'm going to still use 60 here. So like for here now, I'm going to increase this to 22 because I'm using 22 here. So this subheading, I'm going to make all my subheading to be 22. I'm going to make this my main heading to be 60. So for each and every one of them, they're going to be the same font size. So here now, if you check this now, the font family is Fira Sans Condensed. You see, so every one of them will be the same. So what I'm just going to do is I can just come over here. Right click on this, and then copy this guy. Then I will come over here. Then I'm going to paste style, not paste style, because if you paste now, that means you are duplicating this heading, everything here. But if you paste style, that means what you have here, like the black color here, the alignment center is what you are going to have here. So I'm just going to paste style. Now this is what we have, but I'm going to click this because here now, text is not aligned to be at the center. So I will just come over here, then click on this guy, come over to content, and then set it to be left. This is how it's supposed to be. Now this is beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just drag in this text editor widget. I'm going to drag in this text editor widget. So I will come over here, click on this guy, this text editor widget. I'm just going to drop it here. Now this is a dummy text. Please take note that when you are designing a site for a client will provide you with all the content that you need. Or sometimes you can just go ahead and do some research, find out the right content to use if you are being paid to also put on the content. But for now, I'm not designing this to anybody, so I'm just using a dummy content. But for now, since I'm showing you how to design a website, I don't need to go and look for a good content or whatever and write here. So I'm just going to be using a dummy content. But take note that when you are designing a site for a client, like I said, You are not to put this content. You can just put this content temporarily so that a client will just look at it and know, okay, this is how my site looks like. And then that client will provide you with content. And then you go ahead and update or remove this one. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to implement this button in our design. So I will come over here, click on this widget, come over to where I have button. Just going to drag this guy and drop it here. So what we have here is view more about us. I'm just going to copy this text, come over here and then paste it here. So I'm going to come over to style. We're going to click on color. We're going to reduce this guy to 0. We're going to reduce this background. Now we're going to come over to where we have text color. We select our color here. So this is awesome. Now let's see what we have here. Alright, so the font size, let me check the font size I use here in my button. I use 16 here as my font size. So we're going to see use 16 here, while our font weight was 600. So I'm going to click on this and then typography, I'm going to make it 16. Our font weight here must be the same, 600. So I'm going to update this. Now if you check this guy here, you will discover that once you hover on this button will kind of grow. So I will come over here and then set that hover effect here. So I will just click on hover here, then click on, then select, then I'll come over to where I have hover animation. Then I'm going to select grow. So this is it. This is beautiful. So I'm going to update. So we are done with this column. Now if you look at this, the next column here is this beautiful mask here. So to do this is very simple. We'll come over here. We're going to select, we're going to drag in our image widget here. I'm going to drop it here. I'm going to choose the image. Come over to upload files. Let's check if this is the image. Alright, this is the image. So I'm going to open it. So I'm going to select this image here. And this is what we have. I'll click on this container here. I'm going to edit this container here. Now I'm going to set the width here to be 90. %. So I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to set the minimum height to be 600. We are not supposed to edit this container and then do this. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just return this to its original state. And then this guy, just going to remove it. Then I think we had 60 here. Alright, we had 60. So I'm going to leave it like that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to edit this image. I'm just going to click on this image. Then I'll come over to style. And then this guy will be 90. This guy will be 600. Object fit, I'm going to select cover. And this is awesome. So I'm going to reduce the font size of this text to 60. Alright, this is awesome. So I will come back to this image, then scroll, select advanced, come to where I have marks. I'm going to turn on the marks. So you see, now if you click on this shape, if you want it to be in a flower form, you click on this flower. There's so many of them, so you can just play around with these. But I'm not going to select any of these. I have the one I downloaded, so I'm just going to select custom. Then I'm going to choose the image. So this is mine here. So I'm just going to open. And this is it. This is beautiful. So I'm just going to update. Let's preview changes and see what we have. Right, if you check this, you will discover that this guy is centralized. So we are going to do the same thing here. And this image is too big here compared to this guy. So we are going to adjust this guy, and then we are going to centralize this guy. So let's do it. So to centralize, I will come over here and click on this container, and then justify content center. I will click on this image. Click on this image. I'll come over to advanced, select mask. You have to ensure that you select fit as the size here. Now I'm going to click on this guy here, this container here, and then I'm going to give it a margin left of 40. All right, so I'm going to update. Let's see what we have. Okay, this is better. Now if you look at this guy here and then look at what with our design here, you will discover that this guy here is aligned to right or to left. So what we are going to do is that we are going to align our design to left. So to do that is very simple. You click on this image and then come over to content, alignment, you set it to left. Then I'm going to update. So let's see what we have. This is beautiful. I will come over to advanced. Ensure you unlink this, and then I'm going to set this to be 50, margin right to be 50. I will come over to this container. I'm going to remove this margin left that I gave. So I'm going to update. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to design this beautiful section here. So let's go back to our home page and implement that. I'm going to come over here and select this plus icon. I'm going to select this structure here. So what I'm going to do is I will come over here, click on this. You know, if you look at this, we have 3 containers here. This is a parent container here. Now this is a child container. This is also a child container. So there are 2 child containers. So you can see it here, the parent container, the first child and the second child. So what I'm going to do is I will click on the first container here. This width here is 50%. I'm just going to make it to be 20%. Now, while the minimum height, okay, I'm going to delete this guy here first. I'm going to remove this container. I'm going to remove this container so that when I'm done designing here, I will now duplicate it, because here we have 4 of this box here. So once I'm done designing one, then I'm just going to duplicate it. So here now, I'm going to select justify contents to be center. The minimum height, I'm going to make it 200. So I will come over here and then click on this widget icon. I'm going to search on icon box. So I will drag it and drop here. I'm just going to remove this description text. And then I'll come over to style, set it to be left. Okay, top. I think that's what we have here. Yeah. So I will come over here. I'm going to this is creative ideas. I'm just going to copy it, and then I'm going to replace it with this title here. So I'm going to change this icon here. So I'll click on this. I will search 500. So here is it. Just going to come here and set it. So I'm going to change the color of this. So I'll come over to style, to where I have icon. I'll select primary, then light pink. Then I'll come over to where I have content, and then I'm going to change this to black. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is that if you look at this guy has a static white background color. This is not over. Remember when we were working on this, it was only when you hover on this that you see this beautiful brush shadow and white background here. So, but for this guy here is just static. So we are going to do that here. So I'm going to click on this container here. Come over to where you have stars, select background type, color, you are going to make it to be white. So I will come over to border. You're going to set a box shadow, and then this blur, you are going to make it to be 20. Then spread, you are going to make your spread to be -10. This is beautiful. I'm going to give this guy a padding top, bottom, left and right of 20. So I'll just come over here and type in 20 here, and this is beautiful. So now I am going to give it a margin right of, let me unlink this guy first, a margin right of 10, a margin left of 10. Now margin right will give a space at the right hand here, while margin left will give a space here. Now, so I'm going to update this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate what I have here. All right, so I'm just going to delete one. It's supposed to be 4 here. All right, let me update. Let's preview and see what we have. All right, so it is not centralized. If you look at this guy here, this guy is centralized and a little bit bigger. So we are going to do this. So I'm going to click on this parent container here. Remember, we have 4 child container, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the parent container. I'm going to click on it here. Then I'll come over here, justify contents to the center. And I'll come over and click one of these again. Let me remove this and see what we have, so that you see the effect of this margin and this margin here. So you see, margin right will give a space here. Then there's a space here. Margin left will give a space here. 10. All right, so I'll come over here to layout. Let me increase the width to be 25. All right, so this is 25. So I'm going to increase the width of each of them to be 25, because 25 times 4 is 100, and the width of the parent container is actually 100%. So there will be no issue doing that. So I'll just do it. Come over here and make this guy 25. So let's see. So let me update so we see what we have. All right, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Now I'm just going to come over here and change all this. I'm going to change this title and these icons. So we'll just come over here. Now what I have here is high quality. I'm going to replace it here. What do I have here? What I have here is fast delivery and 24-hour support. For fast delivery, I have fast delivery here. Here I have 24. Here I have 247 support. So we'll just write it 247. All right, so I'm going to change the icon here. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to filter it by name, battle. This is it. So I'm going to insert. I'm going to click on this. And I'm going to search free. All right, look at it here. I'm going to insert. I'll come over here, then click on this. Then this one will be NJ list. All right, this here. This is it. So I'm just going to insert it here. Now we're going to change the font family of this text here. So I'm going to come over here to style, to content, under title, then I'll click on typography. All right, let's change it to Fira Sans Extra Condensed. All right, this is beautiful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this guy, then I'm going to paste style. I'm going to come over here and paste the style. I'm just going to paste the style over here. So this is awesome. We're going to update. So I will click on this parent container and I'm going to give it a margin bottom. A margin bottom of 80, because I want a space at the bottom here. So I'm just going to give a margin bottom of 80. Alright, so what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to design this section, this counter section here. So what we are going to do, we come over here and then we select this structure icon. I'm going to pick this, and I'm going to make this to be full width. So I will come over here to this widget. I will search counter. And this is the one we are going to drag. So we'll drag and drop here. So what we have here is complete project. So I'm going to copy complete project here. So I will paste it here. Now, here is the title. Now, if you look at this place, we have starting number here. And then what we have here is 0. So if I should erase this and put 2, it simply means that this counter will start counting from 2 down to 100, because say we have ending number. If I increase this to 1000, it starts from 2 down to 1000. So that's how this thing works. Now you see here number prefix. Now this prefix simply means what will be added to the number. So if I should put T here, so we're going to have this, but this doesn't really look nice, so I'm going to erase this. While suffix is what you will see after the number. Now here is actually animation duration. So let me increase this to 5000. Look at how it works here. So you see that the time will be delayed. So if I reduce this to 1000, now it's going to be very fast. So let me return it to 2000. So that is how it works. Now here we have what we call separator. Now if I do this dot, now you see it separates this number here. So I'm going to return it to default. So here now we have 100k plus complete project. So I'll come over here, then I'm going to reduce this to 100. Then the number starts from 0. So the suffix here is k plus. So I will come over here, come to suffix here. I will type k plus here. So I'm going to style this. So to do that, sorry, it's 10k plus. So I will come over to style, and then this is going to be white. This is not visible because the color is white. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a background image and then set the background overlay to look like this. So I will come over here, click on this container. First of all, I'm going to give it a padding of 60. Then I will come over here to style, come over to background, click on classic, then come over here. The image that is being used is this. So I will select. Now I will set the position to be center, and then the display size, I'm going to make it cover. In the repeat, I'm going to make it no repeat. So I will come over to overlay. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to select the color here, and then I'm going to reduce this guy. Okay, this is awesome. Now I'm going to the color is already, this is the color code 020101. So I'm going to increase the opacity to 0.8. All right, this is awesome. So I will come over here and then come over to typography. I'm going to change this to Fira Sans. I'm going to set this to be 50, and then I'm going to increase the font weight to 700. Then I will come over here to title. Now we're styling this number here. So you see you have number here, you have title here. So I will come over to where I have title and click on this. So now I'm going to set this color to be white, and then this is perfect. So I'm going to reduce the spacing. So this is beautiful. So I'm just going to duplicate this here. Since here we have 4 counters here, so I'm just going to come over here, and then I'm going to hover on this, then duplicate. Now I'm going to work on this background color a little. So I will come over here, come over to background overlay. Then I'm going to use this color code 00001D. And this is the color code I want to use. So I will come over here and click on this again. Now I'll come over to justify content. I'm going to make it center. If you come over here, you will see that there is a gap here. So I will come over here, and then the gap here is small. So I'm going to increase the gap here by 50. Now this is beautiful. So I'm going to update this. Now if you come over here, we have client review, winning awards, and then free resources. So I will just copy these client reviews, then come over to our home page here, and then click on this. So I'm going to replace it with this. Now here we have 850 plus. So I'm going to come over here and then set this to be 850. And I'm going to remove this K here. Now here we have 15 plus winning awards. So I will just come over here and then I'll click on this. So here we have free resources to be 2K plus. So I will do the same thing here. Come over here and then change the ending number to be 2. Then here 2K plus. Okay, so I'm going to leave this to be like this. I'll come over here and change it to free resources. So I'm going to update. Now let's preview and see what we have. And this is actually very beautiful. Let's see what we have here. Alright, it's the same thing here. So it's beautiful. Now, what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to show you how you can create this beautiful portfolio section. So this is very, very beautiful. You hover on this, you have this. So I'm going to show you how you can do this. So I'll come over here. So I'm just going to click on this plus icon. I'm going to select this. So I will come over here. If you look at this, we have our portfolios and then some of our work. So let's go back to our design. Now I'm just going to copy this guy here and then come over here, paste it here. Then I will come over here and then copy this guy here. And I will come over here and then I'm going to paste it here. Now, what we have here is our portfolios. I'm just going to copy this and then replace it with this text here. Now, here we have some of our work. So I will just copy this and then come over here, click on this. I'll come over here, paste it here. So I will come over here and click on this container, because if you look at this design here, you will discover that there is a kind of padding here. There is a space inside this container, and as I explained to you that a space for you to create a space inside a container, you need to use what we call padding. So I will come over here. I'm going to set the padding to be 60. Now we have the space here. So I'm going to click on this. What I'm going to do again is that we are going to bring out this wonderful design here. So there is a widget that can help us achieve that. It's called filterable gallery. So I'm just going to drag this and then just going to drop it here. After this is our title. Now this is what we have here. So now we are going to customize this. So now if you come over here, you see items to show 6. So you see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see if I reduce this to 5, you will see 5 gallery here. So I'm just going to return it to 6. So what I'm going to do now is I will come over here I will scroll down to filterable control. I'm going to click on this. So here we have gallery item, which is what we are seeing here. So I'm going to edit it, because if you come over here, we have web design, SEO, and UI UX design. It's supposed to be UI UX design. So we have three different filterable controls here. So we are going to do the same here. So I'm going to change this to web design. So we have web design here now. So I'm just going to duplicate this and then edit it. So here I'm going to change this to SEO. So I'm going to change this to UI UX design. If you come over here, you will discover that there are images here. So I'm going to show you how you can insert these images here. So I will come over here and then come over to gallery items. Now here you see, I'm going to delete everything I have here. So I will just come over here. Now the control name must carry the filterable controls. Remember, we have three filterable controls here. We have web design, we have SEO, and then UI UX. The name must be exactly like what you use when you were setting up your filterable controls. Now, if there is any form of typographical error, this is not going to work. So you have to ensure that your spellings are correct. So I will come over here, and then I'm going to use web design here. Now I will come over here, then the item name. Now the item name, I'm going to set the item name to be, let's say, WordPress. Let's see what we have here. Right here we have, okay, here we have React JS project. So I'll just come over here and then use React JS project. Now here, if you want to enable your price, you can just click here and you'll be asked to set the price. And then here, rating. And then if you want to enable category, but I'm not just going to enable any of this. So I will come over here. I'm just going to allow this dummy text to be here. But if you are designing for a client, like I told you earlier, your client will give you content that you are going to use. So I will come over here and change the image. Now I will come over to upload files. Click on select files. Now I'll come over to my website design folder. Here is it. So I will come over to where I have projects. So I'm just going to upload all these images at once. So I will just click on project 1 and then press shift in my keyboard and then click on the last one. Open. All the images will be uploaded at once, so that each time you want to, so that when once you want to select any of them, you come over here and click on this. Now this is displaying error here. Now I know that some of you might have this issue. Now let me show you another way to upload image. Whenever you try to upload image and then you have this issue, let me show you what you have to do. You have to, first of all, update this and then click on this guy here. Come over to exit. Then you click on apply. It will take you to your dashboard. So what you are going to do, you come over to media here. You click on library. So you come over to add new media file. Then you select files. Then I'm going to select these images again. Then you come over, click on open. Now you see that those images have been uploaded without any error message. So when you are done uploading it, so you just come over here and then hover on this visit site again. When that happens, you click on edit with Elementor. So I'm just going to come over to this place and click on this again. So we'll come over to gallery items. Then we know we were working on this project, so I'm going to click on this and then come over here, click on choose image. Now look at the images we uploaded from our dashboard. If you try to upload it this way and it works for you, don't try to go back to your dashboard and then upload it. And the reason why I have to go back and upload the image via my dashboard was because when I tried uploading it here, it was displaying error message. So I'm going to come over here and select this image, and then this is it. So let's come over here. Let's see what we have here. Now you see, when once you hover on this color is light pink. So I will do the same here. So I'll come over here to style. So I want to change this color here. I want to change this color here. So I will come over to where I have icons, and then for the normal state, let's see what we have here. The normal, this is the color. When we hover on it, it changes to dark wine color. So I will come over here, and then I'm going to change this color to light pink, and this is it. Now I'll click on hover. So I'm going to change this color to wine color. Now if I hover on this, we have exactly what we have here. Exactly what we have here. So this is awesome. So I'm going to update this. What I'm going to do again is I will come over here to my content, and then come over to gallery item. Remember, this is just one of them. So I'm just going to duplicate this and make it 6 again. Now this is actually 6. So I'm going to come over to the second one. Now this second one, I still want the control name to be web design. I'm going to show you how this thing works when I'm done designing this. I'll still allow this control name to be web design, but I will come over here and change this to Python project. Now this project is under website design control name. So I will come over here to image. I'm going to change the image. Now look at, let's see what we have here. This is the image we have here. So I'm just going to change it to this. All right, so I will come over here. I'll click on this. Now here I'm going to call it I'm going to change this control name to SEO. SEO, because we have SEO here. Remember, we set our control name here when we were working on filterable controls. What we did was we set it to the web design, SEO, then UI UX design. Now here in gallery items, we are now setting up this gallery here. See, so this gallery, at least this gallery must not carry a control that is not here. If you should give any of this gallery a control that is not here, what will happen is that when you click on this, it will not appear here. So you must not give this gallery a control name that is not among the filterable controls. So I will come over here. I'm already here. So this third one, I'm going to call the control name SEO. So now the item name, I'm going to change this. So I will call this SEO strategy. SEO strategy project. So I will come over here and change the image to this. I'm going to select this. So I'll come over here and click on this guy. So it's left with 3. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to pause this video and then change this gallery items here. So I'll just pause the video. All right, so I'm done changing all these gallery items. So let me show you what I did here. The fourth one. So I still allowed. Okay, the control name for this fourth one, it's supposed to be SEO. Now, so the control name for this fourth one, which is website audit project, I just decided to give it website audit project. Now it says the control name is SEO, and then the item name is website audit project. Now the fifth one is Figma project. The control name here is UI UX design, and then while the item name is Figma project, and then I change the image to this. So you can use any image here. This is just a tutorial. So the last one is Adobe XD project, and now the control name here is still UI UX design. So I actually changed the image here. So now let me tell you how this thing works. Of course, this is a portfolio section. Now let me update first. Now, if I click on website design here, now you discover that we have two items under this control. Now, if I click on SEO, you discover that I have two items under this control. We have a SEO strategy project and then website audit project. So if I click on UI UX, now you discover that we have two items under this control. So that is how this thing works. So let me click on all. So if you want a client to see what you have done with React, so what you are going to do, you are going to come over here and then click on this React project. You come over to where you have gallery link button. You have to toggle this thing to be yes, and then this is where you are going to embed your link. Let me assume that the site I built using React is jumia.com.ng. So I'm just going to come over here and type the URL jumia.com.ng. So I'm going to update this. Now let's preview and see what we have. Now if I scroll down here, now I over on this guy. So this is React.js project. So I have embedded a link here. So what I'm going to just do is I'm going to come over here. I will click on this. Let's say I'm a visitor now, accessing your site. And then these are your portfolios, the jobs that you have done. You have designed a site with React, Python, and the rest of the stuff here. So I want to check the project that you have built with React. So I will just come over here. Then I'm going to click here. So when I click, now look at it, it has taken me to Jumia site. The reason is because when we were working on it, we embedded a Jumia link in this link field. So that is how this portfolio section works. So if I want, maybe I have designed a lot of sites with Python, so I want to drop a link to one of the sites. So I will just come over here to Python, and then I'm just going to drop the link to the site. So I will just type the link here. Let me assume it's conga.com. So if I built conga.com with Python, so I want you to see what I have done with Python. So as I have embedded the link here, I'm just going to update so that when a visitor visits my site, or maybe when a client visits my site and then he wants to give me a job, so he will just come over here and to where I have Python project and click on this link. Now it will take that client to the job I have done. Now the clients will be able to review that job. Now if that job is good enough, the client will be convinced to commit his job to me. So that is how this section works. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to style these filterable controls. So I'm going to show you how you can style these filterable controls. So I will come over here. Let's go back to settings. All right, so this is okay. So we'll click on style. Now here we have the controls here. So now the background color, I'm going to change the background color to wine color. Okay, no. So I'm just going to remove this. So I'm going to change the text color to wine color. I'm going to come over to typography, and then I'm going to change this to Fira Sans. Then I'm going to increase this to 20. Okay, let me make it 16. Or 15 is okay. 15 is okay. Then I'm going to come over to weight and make it 700. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the weight to 500. Okay, this is perfect. So I want to change this active background color. So to do that, I will come over to active. So the text, let's see the text that we have here. Okay, the text is white. So I will allow this guy to be white. Then I'm going to change this active background here. So I will click on this custom and then select the color that we say. I'm going to reduce the font size of this a little. So I'll come over to typography. I'm going to make it 14. All right, this is okay. So I'm going to update. Now, if you look at this guy, you will discover that there is a background color here. There's a background color here, and then it's like a gray color. It's not white, actually, it's like a gray color here. So we are going to do that. I'll come over to container. I want the color, I want the whole container to have a background color of gray. So I will come over to style and then select background type, and I'm going to come over here. Then the color code I'm going to use is F5, F5, F5. and this is the color here. So I'm going to update. So now you discover that this whole container has a background color of gray, but this filterable control has a background color of white. So I'm just going to do the same thing here. So I will click on this and then come over to background color here. Then I'm going to set it to be F5, F5, F5. So you see it has the same color. So I'm going to update. So let's preview and see what we have. This is actually very beautiful. This is actually very beautiful. Let's see what we have here. So if you look at this, you will discover that there is a space between these filterable controls and then this heading here. So I will just come over here. I'll click on this filterable gallery and then come over to advanced. Then I'm going to ensure you unlink this first. I'm going to set this to be 30. So this is beautiful. So I'm going to update. Alright, so what I will be showing you how to do again is I'm going to show you how you can design this beautiful testimonial section. So let's go back to our page builder, and then so I'm going to come over here and select this structure. So I'm going to set this to be full width. Then I will just come over here and copy this. I'm just going to drop it here, paste it here. I will come over here. I will come and copy this one again. I will copy this. I'm going to paste it here. So just going to paste it here. Now we have testimonials. So I'm just going to copy this text here. I'm going to click on this and then testimonial. And then here we have we'll come over here. Then I'm going to paste it here. Now I'm going to put a break here. So I'm going to centralize this. I'll come over here and then centralize this. Now we have a margin top here. There's a space here. So I will just do the same thing here. I'll give it a margin of 30. Margin top of 30. Okay, 50. Alright, so 50 is beautiful. Then I will come over here and then click on this. I'm going to set a background image. If you look at this, we have this background image here. So I'm just going to do the same thing. So I will come over to style here and then background type. I'm going to choose image. So I'm going to click on upload files over here, then select the files. So I will come over to where I have home testimonial. I will click on home testimonial and I'm going to open it. So I'm going to select. So you come over here and select the image position to be center, and then you come over to display size and set it to be cover. This is awesome. So if you look at this here, you will discover that inside this container here, now this is also a container. This is a container here. This is a container here. So what we are going to do is that we are going to come over here and then we are going to drag in another container and then drop inside this container. Now this will become a parent container now. So I'm going to drag in another container. So if I should drop the container here, now this container here becomes the parent container while this one becomes the child. So what I'm going to do, I will click on this guy. I'm going to give it a padding of 60. So I'm going to give a padding here of 60. And this is beautiful. So I'm going to drag in another container and then put inside this container. Now the reason is because if you look at this guy here, now this is a container. This is a container. Now there is another container here. And then there is another container that controls all these testimonials we are seeing here. Now you get me. Just follow me carefully. You understand what I'm doing. So I will come over here. I'm going to drag in another container. So I'm going to drag in another container and then drop inside this container here. So now, that is why this navigator is very, very important. Now, if you look at this now, and this is the parent container. Now, this is another container. Now, this one is a child to this one. While this container here is a child to this one. Now, if you are using here, it might be difficult for you to locate the container. So I prefer whenever you want to select a container, if you have something like this, so you just need to come over to Navigator and then try to select the container from here. So I want to style this child container here. So I want to style this child container here. So I will come over here and set it to be full width. Then I will set this percentage to be 50%. Okay, let's make it 48%. Ensure you set this to be percent here, not pixel. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to come over here, then I'm going to click on this widget and then search testimonial. Then I'm going to drag this testimonial. Ensure you drag the one that carries EA at the top. So I will just drag this guy and drop inside this container here. So we are going to style this testimonial. So I'll just come over here. I'm going to choose the image I want to use. So I will just come over here and click on this and upload the images that I'm going to be using. So I will just come over to headshots. I'm just going to select all of them, then upload them at once. Alright, so I'm going to select this guy here, and then so now if you come over here, you will discover that this image is in a rounded form. So we'll come over here. So I will come over to style, come over to testimonial image style. Then I'm going to set this avatar to be in a rounded form. And this is it. So I'm going to reduce the width and the height of this image. So I'm going to make this to be 80. Well, I'm going to give it a border. So I'm going to make this to be solid. Then border width, I'm going to set it to be 3%. Then border color, I'm going to select our wine color. I'll come over to testimonial styles. Now I'm going to set, this style here is set to be at default state. So I'm going to select content top icon title inline. And this is how it will look like. Now I can choose to select any of these. Now let's see how this one will look like. So you can just play around with this and see how it will look like. So, but I'm going to select this here. Alright, so I'm going to move this name, this company name down here. So I will come over here and then testimonial content. First of all, before I move the content, the name down here, I'm just going to rename this. I'm going to call this Take Juno, and then I'm going to call this, I'm going to give it a name. Let's see what we have here. Okay, Frank Apple. I'm just going to copy the name. So I will come over to style. So I'm going to toggle this bottle on, and then I will come over to color, typography, and spacing. So I'm going to give this image a margin right, so that this username and the company name will be separated from the image. So I will come over to testimonial image style, and I'm going to unlink this. So I'm going to give this to 25. So I will come over here. I want to add testimonial contents. I can just come over here. Let me copy this content here, and then I'll paste this here. So I'm going to add a background color of white here. If you look at this, the background color here, is white. So I'm going to do that here. I'll come over here, then I'm going to select this container, then come over to style, Then I'm going to change this color to white. This is awesome. Now we have a box shadow around each of these containers. So we are going to do that. Ensure you select this container. Then I will come over to border. I'm going to click on this box shadow. Then I'm going to make this blur to be 20. Then the spread, I want it to be -10. Okay, so I'm going to update. So I'm going to duplicate all this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to over on here, then duplicate. And this is how it's showing. I don't want it to show like this. So I'm just going to go back here, delete this. The reason why it's like that is because there is something we need to do in this parent container. So I will click on this, the parent container of this container. Now remember, this container is a parent to this container, while this container is a parent to this container here. So there is something we need to do in this container to enable this thing display horizontally. So I will click on this container, then I will come over to layer. Then I'm going to set the direction to be horizontal. So now if I duplicate this thing now, it will be displayed horizontally. So I'm going to duplicate it again. But before I duplicate it, I will come over here. I will come over and click on the parent container again. And then I'm going to come over here and set wrap. I explain what this thing means. If I do not set this wrap, if I duplicate it, it's going to be displayed horizontally again. Whereas this width is 100%. And this one, we set it to be 48%. Let's go back and see. We set this width to be 48%. So 48 times 2 will give you 96. So what you are left with is 4%. So you cannot have 3 of this in one section. So we need to set wrap so that once I duplicate this, it will move to the next line. So I will over on this again, duplicate it. It moves automatically to the next line. I'm going to over on this, then duplicate it again. So it moves to the next line. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to edit all these details here. So I will just click on this testimonial here, and then just change the image. You can just select any image, and then you don't need to edit this container again and style it, because we did everything here in the first container, and then when we were done, we duplicated it. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to change the image as I have done here, and then change the name. So you just come over here, click on testimonial content. So I can just change the name to what I have here. You can use any name if you want to. Then I'm going to put the name here. Then you can choose to change this testimonial description. I'm just going to allow it to be like this because this is just a tutorial video. So you just come over here and do the same thing here. Change the image, change the username and the company name. It's just the same thing. So I'm just going to pause the video and then change mine. So I'm done changing my images here. So you can do same. You can choose to use any image, even if it's your image, you can choose to use it. Since this is just a tutorial, so if you look at this name is not bold, but if you look at this, it's bold here. So I'm going to make the username here to be bold. So I will come over to color, typography, and spacing. I will click on this. Now look at under username here. I'm going to click on this typography. Then I'm going to set the font weight to be 700. Then I'm going to set my font style to be normal. Then I'm going to increase this to 20. I will come over here and set the font family to Fira Sans. Now I will come over here to the typography under company name. So I will click on this. Then I will set the style to be normal. So I'm going to set the font size to be 16. Then I'm going to set the font weight to 400. Oh, this is perfect. So if you look at this, we have exactly what we have here. So I'm going to update. So I don't need to come over here and then start doing it one by one. I only need to just right click on this and then copy. Then come over here, right click, then right click. Then I come over here and paste that. So I'll just come over here. I'm just going to paste style. Then come over here and then I'll paste style. So this is it. So we are going to update. Let's preview and see what we have. So this is beautiful. Now this is beautiful. Alright, this is beautiful. Let's see what we have here as well. Now if you look at this, the space here is bigger than what we have here. So we are going to increase the space here. So what to do that, I will come over here and then I'm going to click on this. I'll come over to advanced. Then I'm going to give it a margin right of 20. I'll come over here, select this guy here, and then come over to advanced. I'm going to give this guy to a margin right of 20. So this is beautiful. If I update, then I preview, we are going to have exactly the same thing we have here. So let's see what we have now. Oh, this is beautiful. Now if you look at this, you'll discover that this container here has a little margin top here. So I'm going to do that here. So I will come over here and click on this container here. We want to have a little space here. So I will come over to advanced. Then I will unlink this and then set it to be 30. And then I'm going to update. So the next thing I'm going to show you is that I'm going to show you how you can set beautiful animations. Now if you look at this site here, if I refresh on this, and you discover that when once this page loads, you will have some beautiful animations. Now you will see these beautiful animations here. So I will come over here, you see this beautiful animation. You see this animation. So I'm going to show you how you can implement these beautiful animations. So let's go back to our page builder. So first of all, I'm going to click on this title here. So I will come over to advanced, then to motion effect. We have entrance animation here. Now if I select any of these, let's say fade in down, you see how it works. So if I should select this, so you can just play around with all this. But the one I'm going to use is zoom in, because that is what we have here. So zoom in. So I'm going to do the same for all the text we have here. So I'll come over here. And then to motion effect, then I'm going to set zoom in. Then I will select my button, and then I'm going to set my button animation to be fade in. So I'm going to update. So we're going to preview and see how our hero section looks like. So I'm going to preview. Let's see what we have. Now you see, this is very beautiful. So I'm going to go back. So the next thing I'm going to show you is that I'm going to show you how you can animate this section here. To do that, you're going to select the parent container here. And then to make it, for you to be more accurate or to ensure that you're on the right track, you just have to right click. Then you select navigator. So this is the parent container. So I'm just going to come over to advanced. We're already there. And then click on motion effects. And I'm going to select fade in. I'll come over to the next section. I'm going to select this first child container here. So I will come over to motion effects. Then I'm going to select sliding left. While I'm going to set this to sliding from the right. So I'll come over here and then select motion effect, sliding right. Then here I'm going to select this container here, come over to motion effect again. Then I'm going to select sliding up. I'm not going to set animation in this section. The reason being that here we have a counter here. So while this guy is animating, these numbers will be reading. So I'm going to come over to the next section, select this. I'm going to set the animation, the entrance animation to sliding up. I will come over to testimonial section, but I'm going to style them individually. So I'm going to come over here, click on this child container. So you have to be very careful while selecting this, because you can end up selecting the parent container. So once you select any container, the border width here will increase. So I will come over to motion effect, then I'm going to select sliding left, then I'm going to select come over here, then here I'm going to set it to sliding from the right. So I'll come over here, click on this sliding right, come over here, sliding from the left, and I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to save it. So we can preview here and then see what we have here. Let's see the next section. Beautiful. It's beautiful. So what I'm going to do again, I'm going to save everything that we have done here as a template. Now this is very, very important, because while we are going to design our services page, we are going to be using some of these sections. So it will not be wise for us to start designing from scratch again. Meanwhile, we have already done some of them in the home page. So what I'm going to do is that I will come over here, I'm going to right click here, then I'm going to save as template. So I can call this hero section. I'm going to save. I will come over here, I'm going to right click on this guy here, I'm going to save it as services. I'm going to save it here. I won't be needing this section. Okay, I will need this section, so I'm going to save it. We will save this as about us section. So I'm going to save this guy. So I'm going to save this guy services. I'm going to save this as counter section. I'm going to save this as portfolio. Then lastly, I'm going to save this as testimonial section. So we are done. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to design our services page. If you look at this, this is what we have here. This is very beautiful, a beautiful services page. So I'm going to show you how you can design this. The page is still loading. This is beautiful. So I will show you how you can design this beautiful services page. This is beautiful. So I'm going to show you how you can do this. So I will come over here. Then I'm going to exit from this page to take us to our dashboard. So I'm going to close this. So now come over to all pages and click on all pages. And I'm going to select services. Then edit with Elementor. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here, click on this guy. So then I'm going to come over to my template. So I'm going to insert this hero section. and beautiful. Now you see, it has saved a lot of time. We would have started designing this thing from scratch, but saving it as a template makes the job to be very easy. So when you are designing a site for your client, there are some of the sections you need to save as templates. So if you know you are going to use something like that again, you can save it as template, and then when you insert it into your page, you can now do a little touch. So what I'm going to do, because if you look at this guy now, you will discover that we don't have a curve here. So I'm going to remove this curve. So I'm going to select this, come over to style, come over to shape divider, then I'm going to click bottom, then I'm going to select none. Perfect. So if you come over here, we have services. So I'm going to change this guy to services. I will just come over here, and then we have something like, so I'm just going to copy this text here. Now it would have taken you a lot of time to design this again. So, but when you save it as template, it makes the job to be very easy. We have see our services. So I will just come over here, click on this, and then I'm going to change this text to see our services. Now if you look at this, I'm going to leave it for now. Then the next thing, I'm going to change our background image to this. So I'll come over here, then come over here to style. I'm going to click on this first, and then come over here, choose image. So look at the image we have here. So I'll come over here, upload, select files. So I'm going to select this services banner. So I'm just going to open it here. So I'm going to select it. Now, beautiful. So I'm going to update. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to implement this beautiful services section here. So we are not going to design this from scratch. Very simple. I'm just going to come over here, click on this, then go to my templates, and then select services section. Beautiful. So we are done. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to insert this portfolio section. So I will come over here, then select this again. I'm going to insert portfolio. Now this is beautiful. Already. I don't like this color. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to design this. So we have not done this before. So we are just going to design this. I'm going to show you how you can design this beautiful pricing section. So I will come over here. So I'm going to select this structure. Then I'm going to select this. Then I'll come over to advanced. I'm going to set the padding to be 60. I'll come over to this widget. I'm going to drag in this heading widget here. Drop here. And then what we have here is pricing table. So I'm just going to copy pricing table. Then come over here. I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to centralize it. I'll come over to typography. I'm going to come over to our custom colors. Then select wine colors. Then I'm going to change the typography to Fira Sans Extra Condensed. I'm going to set the font size to be 20. Then I'm going to set the font weight to be 500. So I'm going to drag in and heading widget and drop here. So I'll just copy this guy here. I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to centralize it, and then I will come over to style. Here we have it as a black color, so I'm going to set black color. Now if you look at this, there is a background image here, so I'm going to insert this image. So I'll come over here and then click on this container, come over to style, and I'm going to select background. I'm going to choose image. We have the image here. Okay, I think this should be the, okay, this is the image, so I'm going to select this. I'll come over to position and make it center, then repeat, no repeat, display size cover. Beautiful. So I'll come over here, I'll click on this guy again, then I'm going to set the font family to be Fira Sans Extra Condensed. Then I'm going to set the font size to be 60. Oh, beautiful. So I'm going to update. So the next thing we are going to do is that we're going to design this beautiful pricing section. So what I'm going to do, I will come over here. So I'm going to click on this widget. I'm going to drag in this container. I'm going to drop it here. Then I'm going to come over here and set wrap. And then I will set the direction to be horizontal. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to drag in another container and then drop here. Now this container, I'll come over here. I'm going to set it to be full width. Then I'm going to set the width in percentage to be like 32 pixels or 32%. Then I'm going to justify content to be center. Then I will come over here. Then I will come over to style here. I'm going to change the background color to white. Then I will come over here and then set the border radius to be like 10. And border radius will make the corners to be rounded. So I'm going to add box shadow. So I'm going to select this. Then I'm going to reduce this color to like 0.2. Then I'm going to add spacing. So I will come over to advanced. So I'm going to add a margin only at the top and bottom. So I'm going to unlink this. I'm going to set this to be 20. Then here is going to be 20. And I explain the difference between margin and padding in this video. So I'll come over here and unlink this padding. And then I'm going to set it only at the bottom to be 40 pixels. I'm going to update it. Don't always fail to update your work. So I'm going to add another container inside this container. So I will come over here, then I'm going to drag in this container, then drop it here. So this container, I'm going to leave it to be box. So the minimum height, I'm going to set it to be 130. So I'm going to set justify contents to be center. So I will come over to style because I want to give this container, I'm talking about this container here. Remember, we have 3 containers in this place. We have the parent container, which is this here. And then we have another container here, which is the child container to this parent container. Then we have this container here, which is the child container to this container here. So I'm going to give it a background color. I'll come over here. If you look at this, the color we have here is wine color. So I will come over here and then I'm going to select wine color here. So I will come over to shape divider because I want to give it a curve like what we have here. Because we have a curve here, so I'm going to set the curve here. As we all know what to do, I'll come over to bottom and then I'm going to select a curve. Then I'm going to invert it. Then I'm going to set the width to be 100. Then the height is going to be 80. Beautiful. I'm going to come over here to this widget. I'm going to drag in heading widget. So I'm going to drop it here. So like what we have here, we have UI UX. So I'm just going to copy this. Okay, can't copy. Let me just type it. So I'm going to set this to the center. I'll come over here and then I'm going to select Fira Sans. Fira Sans Condensed. Okay, let me select Fira Extra Sans Condensed. So I'm going to make the font size to be 26 pixels. I'm going to change this to Fira Sans, and then I'm going to change the weight to 700. Beautiful. Then I'm going to change this text color to white. Then if you look at this, we have starts from here. So I will come over here and select and click on this widget. I'm going to drag in heading widget and drop it just after this curve. So I will just drag it and drop it here. Beautiful. So we have starts from here. So I will just come over here and then write starts from. So I'm going to set this to be H6 tag. So I'm going to come over and select H6. And I'm going to centralize it. Then I will come over to style. I'll change the color to black, like what we have there. I'll change it to black. Then I'm going to change the font size, the font family to Fira Sans, condensed. And then I'm going to change this to 700. Alright, so what we have here again is $500 per project. I can just copy this $500 per project. And then I will come over here and click on this widget. Then I'm going to drag in another heading widget and drop it just below start from. So I'm going to paste this here. I'm going to centralize this guy here. And then I will change the color to black. Then the typography, I'm going to change the font family to Fira Sans, condensed, Fira Sans condensed. Beautiful. So I'm going to change the font weight to 700. So I'm just going to give a little margin top here. I'm just going to give this start from a margin top because it's too close to this curve here. So I'm just going to give it a margin top of at least 10. So I'm going to click on this guy here. Then the margin top here, I'm going to unlink this first. Then I'm going to make this 10. Now if you look at this guy is really close to this guy, but what we have here is not the same. So I'm going to come over here, set the margin bottom to be -20. Perfect. So I'm going to update. So what we have here is icon list. So I will come over here and click on this widget. I'm going to search here icon list. So I will come over here and drag this, then drop it here. So I'm going to select the first list. Here the first thing we have here is powerful admin panel. I'm just going to copy this, come over here. I'm going to paste it here. And then the icon color here, I'm going to come over here to icon. I'm going to change the color. So I'll come over here. Then I'm going to change this color to gray color, 969696. Beautiful. So I will come over here to content. I'm going to select the next one. What we have here is multi-language support. I'm just going to copy it, come over here, I'm just going to paste it. Then the next one is digital planning. Just going to copy. You can just write anything there. Just going to copy it, paste it here. Then I'm going to change the icon to check. So I will come over here. Then I'm going to change this icon. Then I'm going to type here check. So this is what we're going to use. So I'm going to insert the icon. So I will come over here and do the same thing. So I'm going to set check here. Beautiful. So I'm going to just duplicate these guys here and then edit it. So what we have here is 1 year free maintenance. So I'm just going to copy this guy. I'll come over here. I'm going to paste it here. The next thing we have is support via WhatsApp. Then the next thing we have is 24/7 customer support. So I will just come over here. Then I'm going to paste it here. Perfect. So I'm going to style this. If you look at this now, if you look at this guy is centralized. So what we are going to do that, and then we have a button here. So I'm going to style this icon list first before we now implement this button in our design. So let's get started. So I will come over to style here and set this alignment to be center. Alignment, I'm going to make it center. Then I will come over to icon here. Ensure this size is 14. Then I will come over to text here. I'm going to style this text. So I'll come over here. I'm going to set this to be 20, 16. And then I'm going to give a line height of 40 pixels. This is beautiful. So I'm going to save it. So this is exactly the same thing we have here. The same thing we have here. So I'm going to style this button. So what I'm just going to do, I will just come over here and then copy the button that we have here. Just going to copy this button. And I will just come over here and paste the button here. Beautiful. Then I'm just, if you check here, okay, we have contacts now. So I will just come over here and then type contact now. This is beautiful. So I'm going to update. So we are going to duplicate what we have done here. But before that, I'm going to select this parent container here. Ensure you use navigator here, because if you don't use navigator, you might end up styling a different container. So ensure you use a navigator. So I'm going to style this parent container here. I'll come over here to width here, and then I'm going to select percentage. I'm going to change this to 100%. Then I will come over to this child container here, which is this guy here. Then I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to duplicate again. Now I have to set this parent container to 100%, because each of this container here is 32%. So 32%, 32%, 32%. So what we have here is actually 96%. So if I increase this to 40% now, you will discover that it's going to break to the next page. There is it. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to take it back to 32%, so that we have containers of the same sizes. So I'm going to update. Now if you look at this, here we have hosting here and then web design. So I'm just going to change it. I'm going to come over here and then edit it. I'm going to change this to hosting. And then we have starts from $9 per month. So it's very simple to do that. Even if I don't do it here, you know what to do. So but let me just do it. So we have $9 per month. And then here, let me exit this navigator for now. So here we have web design. So I'll come over here, web design. And then it starts from $1,000 per month per project. Okay, here is per month, $9 per month. So web design starts from $1,000 per project. So if you have a job and you don't want to design, you have a job that you want to give me, you can contact me. And it starts from $1,000 per project, except you want to design something like a blog. In a blog site, we can get $300 from you. You can get $300 from you to design a blog site. But from a major project like this one that I'm showing you, it starts from $1,000 per project. But with what you are learning from this video, you'll be able to design your site alone. But just in case you don't want to stress yourself and design it, you can contact me or you can send me a message and I will do that for you. So I'm going to update. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to design UI UX design section page, because here we have UI UX design as a page. So I'm going to design this. I'm going to show you how you can do this, and then how you can embed YouTube video on your site, how you can design this frequently asked questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to exit from this page. And I will come over to all pages. And I'm going to select this guy here, UI UX. So I'm going to edit with Elementor. Now, if you look at this, we have this. So remember, I saved something like this as a template. So I'm just going to insert it into our design. So it's very simple. I will just come over here, click on this guy here, go to my template. I'm going to insert hero section. Then I'm going to eliminate this shape divider here. So I will click on this, and then I'll come over to style, then shape divider. I'm going to come over here to bottom and then set it to none. So here we have a different image here. So I'm going to come over here to style again, come over to background. I'm going to choose image to upload a new file. Okay, this is the image. This is the image. So I'm just going to select it. Beautiful. So I'll come over here and I'm going to change. I'll click on this guy. Then I'm going to change this to UI, UX, design. Here we have this. I'm just going to copy this guy. And then I'll come over here. I'm going to paste it here. Then we have see our services details. So I will just come over here, click on this, see our services details, see service details. So I'm going to update this. Now, the next thing we are going to do, we are going to do is that we are going to design this guy here. This is very beautiful. So what I'm going to do, I will just come over here. I'm going to select a new structure. Then I'm going to select this guy here. Beautiful. Then I will click on this guy here. I'm going to set the padding to be 60. So I will come over here to style, and then I'm going to select this background type. Then I'm going to choose image. So I'm going to select this image here. No. I'm going to delete this. This is not what I want to do. I'm going to select this guy. I want the image to be here. So I will just click on this widget, and then I'm going to drag in this image and drop it here. I'm going to choose image. I'm going to select this guy here. Then I'm going to come over to advanced, to where I have max. I'm going to turn on max, and then I'm going to select blob. Beautiful. Then no repeat. Beautiful. Now here, if you look at this, we have UI UX process. So I'm just going to copy this guy here. I'll come over here. Then I'm going to drag in this, and then, or maybe I will just do this way. Okay. I'm going to paste. I'm going to highlight this, delete it, then paste this guy here. What we have here is centralized. So I'm going to centralize this guy. And then the next thing we have here is this text. So I'll come over here and then drag in this text editor widget. Just going to drop it just below this heading text. So I'm just going to drop it here, and then I'll come over here and style this, because if you look at this, this is black color, and of course the font size here is a little bit bigger. So I will come over here and then change the style to black. I'm going to change this to Fira Sans Condensed. Then I'm going to change the font size to 700. I'm going to change the font weight rather to 700. Then the font size, I'm going to make it 60. Beautiful. So now if you look at this, you will discover that this guy is centralized. So, but here is at the top. So we're going to make it center. We're going to set this guy to be centralized. So I will come over and click here. Then I'm going to come over here to justify center. To justify, you have to set it to center. Now this is perfect. Now if you look at this guy, you will discover that there is a kind of padding top here. I explained the difference between padding and margin. So I'm going to come over here to advanced. I'll click on this container and then I'll come over to advanced. I'm going to change the padding top only to 100. So I'm going to unlink this. We still have 60, but I'm going to change this guy to 100. And you see this space is bigger now. I'm going to update. Beautiful. So what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to design this section here. So I will come over here. Now I'm going to insert this template here. All right. Beautiful. So I'm going to remove all this because here we have best support quality, or best quality support rather, money back guarantee, and then affordable price. So I'm just going to delete what we have here. I'm going to delete what we have here. So here is 3. So I'm going to work on this first. Okay, I'm going to just delete everything here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search icon box. I'm going to drag icon box and drop here. Then the style, I'm going to set it to be left. I'll come over to content and then I'm going to change this icon. I'm going to search handshake. Then I'm going to come over here. The heading, I'm going to call it best support quality. So I'm just going to delete this guy here. So I'm going to put a break here. So I'll just come over here, put a break here. Beautiful. So I will just come over here and then change this color. Let's see what we have here. Here we have it as a white color. So I'm going to come over here and then I'm going to change the color to white. I'll come over to content, change the color to white. And then we are going to change the shape to frame, and then we are going to reduce this circle is too much here, so I will just come over to style here, to icon. Let's reduce this to 5, the spacing to 5. Then let's change the size. So I'm going to change the size to 30. So I'm going to return the spacing to 15. 15 is okay, and this is beautiful. So I will come over here to content, and then I'm going to change the typography. I'm going to change the font, the font family to Fira Sans condensed, and then I'm going to increase the font size to 28. This is perfect. So I'm going to update. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to duplicate each and every one of these. So I'm just going to come over here, duplicate, then come over here, then duplicate. So here we have money back guarantee. So we'll just come over here. Then I'm going to change this to money back. Then I'm going to copy this guarantee and then paste it somewhere here. I'm going to delete this guy here. Then I'm going to change this icon. I'm going to search money. Then here we have affordable pricing. So I will just come over here, click on this guy here, affordable. Pricing. So I'm going to change this again. I will come over here. I can just select any of this guy here. This is perfect. So let's see what we have here. It's the same thing. So even if, let me update and preview. Let's see what we have. This is beautiful. This is really beautiful. Then I will come over here. Let's see the next thing we're going to do. So I'm going to show you how you can do this. I will just come over here I'm going to select the structure, and then I'll come over here and set the padding to be 60. I will come over here. Here we have the heading widget and then the text editor widget. So I will just come over here, click on widgets, and then I'm going to drag in this heading, and then I'm just going to copy here case study. I'll paste it here. Then I'm going to centralize it. I will come over here, click on this. I'm going to drag in this text editor widget, drop it here. So I'm just going to come over here, copy it. I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to move this guy to this extreme here. So I'll just click on this, and then I'm going to move it to the left. I'm going to change the color to black, like what we have here. I'm going to set the font size to be 50. I'm going to ensure that this guy is also 50. So I'm going to change this guy to 50. So I will come over here. I'm going to set the font size to be 16. Like what we have. Let's see what we have here. So here we have font size to be, okay, I'm going to set the font size here to be 16. Yeah, so I'm going to do the same thing here so that everything will be uniform. So I'm going to update. Then what we have here is a YouTube video. Just going to copy the link of this video here. So you can just go to YouTube, copy the YouTube video link, and then you come over here, you search YouTube, or video, and then you drag it down here, and then you're just going to paste the link here. This is exactly what we have. So I'm going to update. If you look at this, there's a little spacing at the top here, and then this guy here is centralized. So we are going to implement that. So I will just come over here, click on this container, and then come over here, justify content. I'm going to make it to be center. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to unlink this. Then I'm going to set the margin top to be 100. Oh, beautiful. So I'm going to update. Now, if you look at this, we have another section, frequently asked questions. So I'm going to show you how you can do this. It's very, very simple to do this. So first of all, I'm just going to create another container here. I'll just come over here. I'm going to select, okay, we're going to select this container, and then we are going to set the padding to be 60. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to drag this and drop here. And I'm going to call this FAQ, that is frequently asked questions. So I will just centralize it. I will come over to style. I'm going to change this color to wine color, and then I'm going to change this to 20. I will change the font family to Fira Sans. I'm going to change this to 700. Now what we have here again is frequently asked questions. So I'm going to just copy this guy. Just going to copy this guy here, come over here, and then I'm going to drag in this heading widget, then drop here. I'm going to centralize this guy here. I will come over here, change this guy to black color. Then I'm going to change the font size to be 60. I'll change the font family to Fira Sans Condensed. Okay, I'm going to set it to be Fira Sans Extra Condensed. So this is beautiful. I'm going to change the font weight to 700. I'm going to change the transform to capitalize. Okay, I'm going to update. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and click on this widget icon. I'm going to search accordion. So this is it. I'm going to drag it and drop here. Beautiful. So what we are going to do is that if you come over here we have this, should I pay upfront? I'll come over here and do the same. So I will click on the first tab. So here we have, you come over to where we have content setting. Then you click on the first accordion tab. Then here we have the tab title. You can just type here, should I pay upfront? So here, this is where you will have the response, the content. So I can just come over here and then type yes, and then you write whatever you want to write there. And then the second one we have, can you design an e-commerce website for me? Very well, I can do that for you. To do that is just $1,000. I can do that for you. In case you need someone that can design an e-commerce site, our pricing starts from $1,000. So if you need someone that can design a professional e-commerce site for you, you can contact me. That $1,000 also consists of the hosting, a very good VPS hosting, and your domain. So the next thing I'm going to do, so I'm going to come over here and type, can you design an e-commerce site for me? So I'll just come over here and then type yes. That's how it works. So I will just come over. The next thing here is, do you offer free maintenance for your clients? So I'll just come over here, click on the third accordion here. I'm just going to come over here and then I'm going to type, come over here, then put yes here. So I'm just going to duplicate this guy. I think 5 is, how many do we have here? Let me check. Okay, we have 5 here, so 5 is okay. And then here, how do I install WordPress on my domain? So the next thing we have here is, can I design a professional website with WordPress? I'll just come over here. Okay, the next thing we have is, how can I renew my domain? So I'll just come over here and then I'm going to paste here, how can I renew my domain? So I'm going to duplicate this again. So the last thing we have here is, how can I design a professional website? Can I design a professional website with WordPress? Of course, you can do that. If you follow my tutorial carefully, you can do that. So we are done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to style it. If you look at this here, when you hover on this, it changes color to wine color. Then this is how it is. And then even the active color is wine color. So we are going to do that in our design. So I will come over here to style. Now here we have normal, hover, and active. So for normal, here normal we have it to be like this. So this normal is we have, and that's what we have here. So but hover, I need to change the color here from white to the hover background. I'm going to change the color here to wine color. So once we hover, the color will change to white color. I think that's what we have here too. Perfect. So when I click on this, okay, this is perfect. Then active. Let's see what we have. Active here. When you click on active here, let's see what we have. Active here is still wine color. So we are going to implement that in our design too. So I will come over here for background. Active, I'm going to change it to wine color. So this is beautiful. Now if you look at this guy here, there's a little spacing between this guy and this guy. That's between the heading here and the accordion that we have here. So I will just come over here. I'll click on this frequently asked questions. Then I'm going to give it a margin bottom of 20. So I'm going to update. So let's preview and see what we have. This is beautiful. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to design our web design page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to save this guy as a template. Now save each and every one of them as a template because it's going to be almost the same thing like this. So I'm just going to come over here and then I'm going to save this guy as a template since we have the hero section already. So I'm going to save this guy as a template. Let's say web design. I'm just going to save this guy. I'm going to save this guy. Counter. I'm going to save this guy FAQ. I'm going to save this guy as well. I'm going to save this guy as maybe YouTube. So I'm going to exit from this page. So I will come over to all pages, click on all pages. Then I'm going to select edit web design. So I'm going to edit web design page with Elementor. So what I'm going to do is I will just come over here and then I'm going to click on this template here. So I'm going to select hero section. Let's see what we have here. Okay, here we have a different background image here. So I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to eliminate this shape divider here. Style. None. So I'm going to change this to web design. Then I will just copy this guy here. Click on this guy. Just going to paste this guy here. And then what do we have here? See service details. So I will just do the same thing here. Click on this guy. I'm going to change this to see service detail. Then I'm going to change this background image. I think this is what we have. Let's see what we have here. Alright, so I'm going to change it to this. Beautiful. So what we have next here is this section. So we will save this as template. So I will just come over here and then web design service. So I'm just going to insert So the next thing we have here is this counter. So I'm just going to come over here. You see how beautiful the thing is. So once you are done with one and you know you are going to use something like that again, try as much as possible to save it as a template so that once you are designing a new page that you are going to use that, it becomes very easy for you. You just don't need to go back and start designing from scratch. You just insert the template and everything is done beautifully. So the next thing we have here is this video here. So I will just come over here, select this again, and then where we have YouTube, I'm going to insert it. Then we have testimonial section. So I will come over here to FAQ. So I'm going to insert this FAQ section. This is really beautiful. We are done. Just like that, we are done. So I'm just going to update. This is beautiful. So the next thing we are going to do, I'm going to show you how you can design this About Us page. Now, if you look at this page, this is what we have as an About Us. So I will show you how you can do this beautiful design. We already saved this as template in our design, so we are just going to insert it. And I'm going to show you how you can do this. We have all this already. So let's go back here. So I'm going to click on About Us. Let's see, we don't have anything in that page. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my dashboard. Then I'm going to navigate to all pages. Then I will come over to where I have About Us. I'm going to edit. I'm going to edit with Elementor. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this template here. So I will come over here and then I'm going to insert hero section. Alright, so I will just come over here and then eliminate this shape divider. So I'll come over to a style, shape divider button. Then I'm going to set this to be none. Then here we have About Us. So I'll just come over here, click on this, then change this to About Us. And I'm going to copy this text here. I'll come over here. I'm going to paste it here. Here we have Meet Our Awesome Team. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Click on this button. Alright, beautiful. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can design this team section. So I'll come over here. I'm going to select this. I'm going to select this guy here. I'm going to change the direction to be row. So I will come over here, click on this guy, come over to advanced. I'm going to set padding to be 60. Then I'm going to unlink this and then set the top to be 100. Then I'm going to drag in another container and then drop here. Then I'm going to set it to be full width. I'm going to set the width of the container to be, let's see, how many do we have here? To be 20%. Okay, 25%. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click on, I'm going to select this container here. Then I will come over here to style, to layout rather, and then I'm going to select space between. Then I will come over here again. If you look at here, we have image here, and then we have another container. So I'm just going to come over here to widgets, and then I'm going to drag in this image and then drop here. Then what we have here is this guy here. So before I do that, I forgot to change this background image to what we have here. So I'm just going to do that right away. So I will come over here, click on this. So I'm going to choose image and upload. About banner. So I'm going to select. Beautiful. So I will come over here and select this. So I'm going to choose image. I'll come over here and upload, select files, and then I come over to where I have headshot, and then this is the first team member. So I'm going to open. I'm going to select. The what we have here is this guy, so it's the same thing. I'm just using, you can choose to use any of the images here, except maybe when you are given a job, then you have to be specific and use the right image. For now, since this is just a tutorial, I can just use any of these images as the first and then play around with it. So what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to drag in another container. I'm going to drag in a new container down here. Now this container, if you look at what we have here, we have a name here and what the person does, lead developer. So we are going to implement that in our design. So I will come over here and then click on this text widget, and then I'm going to drag in this heading, drop here. So here is going to be the name. That's a Vicky. So I'm going to centralize it like what we have here. So this is going to be black. So before I do that, let me change this background to this color, or this is the background color, so that once we use white as a text color, it will display. So I will come over here and click on this container, then come over to style and click on background type. Then I'm going to impute a color code, and this is the color code #030F38D1. So this is beautiful. So I can now come over here now and then style this text, change it to white. I'm going to change the font size to 20, then font family to Fira Sans Condensed. Then I'm going to change the font weight to 700. Okay, let me increase the font size a little. Alright, this is cool. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drag in another heading text, heading widget. So this one I'm going to call this maybe lead developer. So I will come over here to style. I will change this to white. I'll come over here, change it to Fira Sans Condensed. I'm going to make the font size to be 14. I'm going to reduce the font weight to 500. I'm going to reduce the font weight to 400. Then I'm going to centralize. This is beautiful. Now if you look at this guy is closer to this guy, so we are going to implement that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give it a margin top of a negative sign. So I'll unlink this, and then I'm going to drag it up a little. So margin top 16. I'm also going to give it a margin bottom because I need space at the bottom here. So I'm going to make it 10. Let me increase it to 15. This is perfect. What I'm going to do again is I'm going to insert these social media links that we have here. So to do that, I will just come over here, click on this widget icon, search social icons. It's outside, you see. So that is how it is. So you have to be very careful so you don't end up putting the icons inside this container here. So I'll come over here around it. I'm going to make it circle. So I'll come over to Facebook. If you want to put the link, you can just copy your Facebook link or the link to your Facebook page. You paste it here. So what I'm going to do, I will come over to style, and then I'm going to style this, change it to a custom color here, and then the primary color I'm going to make it white, while the secondary color I'm going to make it a kind of gray. So the color code is going to be #9999999. All right, beautiful. Now if you look at it, there's a border width of one pixel here. You can see, if you check very well, there's a border width around this icon. So we are going to implement that. So to do that, I will come over here to border type. I'm going to select solid. So I'm going to add a width of 1. Beautiful. Then I'm going to change the color of this. I'm going to change the color of this border to #222226. So I'm going to zoom in. #222226. So that is it. This is really beautiful. So I will change the size to 15 pixel. Oh, beautiful. So what I'm going to do again is that I'm going to update. Then, so I'm going to give this container a margin top of a negative sign to enable this container to move the way we have this image. I'm also going to do the same thing here in where we have the social icons. So I'll click on this container. I'll come over to advanced. I'm going to unlink this. So I'm going to give a negative margin of 100. Then I'm going to give this container a padding. So the padding top, I'm going to give it 25. I'm going to give it a padding right of 15, 25. Then this guy, padding left of 15. This is beautiful. So I'm going to come over here and then I'm going to increase this a little. About 133. 133 is okay. So I'm going to let me see something. Okay, it's perfect. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give these social icons a margin top of a negative sign. So I'm going to unlink this and then I'll move this up to 35. Beautiful. So let's preview and see what we have. This is really beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to duplicate everything that we have here. So to do that, I'm going to use Navigator. And this is our parent container. This is the first container. This is the second. So I'm just going to come over here and then click on duplicate. I'll come over here. Ensure you are clicking on this guy here. Ensure you are using this container. If you use this container, it's only going to duplicate this second container here. But if you use this guy, because this guy is a child to this guy, now while the parent container to all of them is this container here. So when you are going to duplicate, ensure you duplicate using this container here. And this, like I said, this container is a parent container to this container here. So this container is under this container. So if you duplicate this guy, everything under this guy will be duplicated as well. So I will come over here, duplicate again. Then I'm going to duplicate again. Beautiful. So now what we are going to do now is that if you look at this and if you try to duplicate this thing, it's going to try to enter the same line, whereas it's not supposed to be so, because each of this container is 25%. So by right, it's supposed only 4 is supposed to enter here, not 5. If you look at this, you discover that it is more than 4. It's supposed to be 5, and 5 will make it 100%. So I'm going to delete one of them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here, click on this container here, the parent container, then come over to layout. I will change this to %. Then I'm going to make this 100. Now what I'm going to do again is that I will come over to where I have wrap. I'm going to select this. So I'm going to remove this column. I'm going to change this column, this gap to 0 and 0 here. So I'll just type 0 here. Now, if you try to duplicate this now, it will move to the next line. And this is perfect now. So I'm going to duplicate. And this is beautiful. This is really beautiful. So I'm going to update. So let's see what we have here. This is beautiful. So what I'm going to do now is I will come over here, click on this parent container, go to advanced. If you look at this, you will discover that this guy is too close to this guy. So I'm going to give this guy a margin bottom. So I will come over here, click on this, one of this container here, then come over to advanced. I'm going to unlink this. I'm going to give it a margin bottom of 20. Let's update and see what we have. Okay, this is better. Then I want to come over here again. There's something I want to do. I will click on this guy. Then I will change this percent to pixel. Then I'm going to remove this. It will change to 1140. So I'm going to update. Let's see what we have. Okay, this is better. All right, there's a space here, This is really better. So let me go ahead and change one of this image and this text while you go ahead and do the rest, because it's just very simple. So I will just come over here to upload, select files. Then I will select the second team member. Then I will just click on this and change the name to Victor. I can just come over here, click on this guy. Then I will change this to CEO, and I'm going to update. That's all. If you want to add a link, you can just come over here, click on this icon, click on this, and it will take you to social icons. You just click on Facebook, you just insert the link here, copy the link from your Facebook page, paste it here, do the same for Twitter and then YouTube. I'm not going to change these images. You are going to do that yourself. It's very simple, just the same way I've done here and here. So you are just going to do it. So I'm just going to leave it like this. So let's see what we are going to do next. The next thing we are going to do is that we are going to add this section and this section. The good news is that we save this as a template. So I will just come over here, then click on this. Okay, no. I will just click on this guy here. I will locate counter. This is it. Is it beautiful? So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to insert testimonial section, and then we are done. So I'll just come over here. Testimonial section, just gonna insert it. This is beautiful. So we're going to update. So we are done with our About Us page. So we are done. So the next thing I'm going to show you how to do, I'm going to show you how you can design this contact page. How you can design this. So I'm going to show you how you can design this beautiful contact page here, and how you can embed this map here, set up this thing. Is very, very simple. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to exit from this page. So I'm going to come over to all pages, click on all pages. So I'm going to locate where I have contact us. So I'm going to click on edit. So I'm going to edit this with Elementor. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here, select my template, and then I will come over to hero section. So I'm going to change this guy. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here and eliminate this shape divider. I'll come over to style, bottom, then set this to be none. Then I will change this to contact us. Let's see what we have here, contact us. Then I'm going to copy this It's a dummy content though. I will just come over here, click on this, and then what do we have here? Let's work together. So I'll click on this button. I'm going to edit this button. Let's work together. Beautiful. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are, okay, I need to change this background image. So I will come over here and click on this and then choose image. I'm just going to come over here to website design images. So contacts. Alright, this is it. So I'm going to open. Then here we have this address, email address and phone number here. So this is a container here, this is another container, and then there is a parent container. So what I'm going to do is I will come over here. I'm going to insert this container. Okay, no, I'm going to insert this container here with two columns. Then I'm going to click on the first one here. I'm going to give it a padding of 60. Then I'm going to unlink this guy and then change the padding top to 100. So I will come over here and search on icon box. I will drag this guy and drop here. So what I'm going to do, I will come over here. Let's see what we have here first. Alright. So I will come over to style. I'm going to change it to be like this. So here I have email, address, and then this icon. So what I'm going to do, I will just come over here to icon. Here I'm going to change this to map. I'm going to select this guy here. I'm going to insert. Then what we have here is address and then this. So I will just copy this guy here. I will come over here and I will type address here. And I will come over to description and paste this guy here. Then I'm going to change this color to wine color. So I'll come over to style, go to icon, change it to wine color. Let's see the color we have here. I'm going to change this as well. Okay, this is light pink. This guy is wine. So I'll come over here, change it to light pink. Then I will come over to where I have content. Then the title here, I'm going to change it to wine color. Let's see the, okay, this guy is okay. Then I will come over here. I will come over to icon. I'm going to set the size to be 40. Then the spacing is going to be 15. Then I will come over, I will click on this container. Then I'll come over to advanced. I'm going to give it a padding right of 15. So I'm going to click on this icon box here. I'm going to give it a padding of 20. Alright, this is perfect. So I'm going to update this. So I'm going to duplicate this icon box over here. So I'm going to come over here, right click on this place, and then come over to duplicate. I'm going to right click again. Take note, I'm not duplicating the container. I'm duplicating the icon box. So that's why I will have to right click here and then duplicate. So I'm going to update this. So I'm going to come over here. Here we have email address, and then phone number. So I'm going to come over here and then change this guy to email address. Then here I will change it to phone number. So here I'm going to change it to phone number. Email address. Alright, perfect. So I will come over here now. I'm going to change this icon to email. Envelope. So I will come over here to phone number. I'll come over here and search phone. So I'm going to update. Now at the right hand side we have this form here. So I'm going to show you how you can customize this form. But before that, if you look at this, you know that we have a background image here in this container. So I will just come over here and do that. So I will click on this container. I'll click on this background type, and then I'm going to select this. I'm going to choose image. I'm going to upload. Alright, this is the image, so I'm going to open it. So I'm going to set the image position to be center, no repeat, and then display size, I'm going to make it to be cover. Beautiful. So I'm going to update. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to move to my dashboard. This is the plugin we are going to use to create this form here. So I'm going to come over here to my dashboard, then I'm going to click on this made form. So I'm going to select forms. So what I'm going to, you come over here and click on next step. I will just ignore this part. Just next step, then you save changes. So once you are done, what you are going to do, you are going to come over here and click on forms. When you click on forms, you are going to create a new form. So I will just click on this, and then I'm going to click on add new. So you see there are different templates here that you can use to design your contact form. So there are different templates here. You have this, and then but I'm just going to design mine from scratch. So I'm just going to click here, create from scratch. I'm going to edit form. Now if you look at this guy here, the first thing we have here is your name. So I will come over here. So I will come over here and double click on this, and it will be here. So I will here where we have label here, I'm going to change it to name. Then what we have here, so your name. Okay, where we have label, I'm just going to ignore it. Then placeholder, I'm going to type your name. Alright, perfect. Let's check setting. I'm going to make it to be required. So required indicator, I can just change it to white so that it will not be visible. So I will now come over here and then click on this widget. The next thing we have here is email, your email. So I will just come over here and then double click on this. Then we're going to have email here. So I'm just going to remove this label. Then I'll come over here, placeholder. I'm just going to type in your email. Beautiful. So I'm going to come over to setting. I'm going to make it to be compulsory. Then I'll come over to contour style. Then required indicator, I'm going to change it to white so that it will be transparent. The next thing we have here is your message. So I will come over here to forms, click on this widget. Now I'll come over to where I have text area. I'm going to double click on it. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so we have your message. So I'm going to delete this guy here because I don't want a label to show. Now come over here and then type in your message. Then what we have again is button. So I'll just double click on this. The button here will appear. So here we have submit now. So I will just come over here and then type submit now. So I'm going to set it to left. Now the button color here is this gradient color. So what I'm going to do is I will just come over here Then copy this button here. Just going to copy this button here. Then I will come over to this form, and then let's see if we can do that. Paste style, or it's not possible. So we are going to style it ourselves. So I will just come over here to style. The background color, we are going to select gradient. So our first color here is going to be wine color. Then our second color here is going to be light pink, and then we are going to set the angle to be 90. Let's see what we have here. Okay, the first here is light pink before, so I'm going to switch it. So this guy, I'm going to make it wine. I'm going to make this guy light pink. Beautiful. So now the angle is 90. I'm going to increase the padding here. So the padding top is okay. So I'm going to increase the bottom to 17. I'm going to link this. The top is going to be 17. Then the right is going to be 20. The left is going to be 20. I'm going to set in a border radius. So I'll come over here to border. Then the border radius, I'm going to make it 50. So I'm going to increase the padding and the padding of this button a little bit. So I'll click on button, and I'm going to change this top. Let's say 40. No, it's too much. 20. Then right is going to be 40. Then bottom is going to be 20. Then left is going to be 40. This is beautiful. So I'm going to update. So what I'm going to do again, I'm going to set the form such that when once you send message, the admin will receive notification. So I'm going to come over to form setting. So here I will rename this as contact form. Success message will show, thank you, form submitted successfully. You can choose to use anything you want to use here. And then without login, users can submit the form. You can choose to turn this to be yes, and then or no. So let it be at no. And this is perfectly okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to come over here and close this. Okay, I'm going to save changes. Then I'm going to update and close. So we are done now. So what we are going to do now here, we are going to come over here to our contact us page here, and then I'm going to refresh this page. Now after refreshing this page, you will now go back to your dashboard. You click on forms here, then you scroll down to where you have to the form you just created. Remember, we just created this form a few minutes ago. So I'm just going to copy this shortcode. So I'm going to copy this shortcode. I'll come over to my contact us page. Then I will come over here to this my widget and search shortcode. I'm going to drag in this shortcode and drop here. Then I'm going to paste the shortcode I just copied. This is it, beautiful. So I'm going to update. Now I'm going to send a message right now. Let's see how you can get notification. So now let's say my name, Vic, then email, Mr. Junior, 5 cents. The message I'm just going to use, please, I need a website. So I'm just going to submit. Thank you, form submitted successfully. So how do you see this message as an admin? Very simple. You just come over to your dashboard. So I'm going to refresh this page now. Then you come up, you click on entries. Now this is it. So I'm going to view this entry now. Let's see. And this is it. The text is vague. Look at this thing here. Please, I need a website. So that is it. So you can as well reply to this. Even from the website you can reply as an admin. So you can as well use this email address and then reply the message. You can open your mail and then reply the message. So there's something you need to do when you design a site for a client. Though I'm not going to teach you in this video, you have to create a custom email. I mean the email that will carry the name of your site. For instance, admin@scholarprime.com.ng. So maybe in a subsequent video I'll show you how to create emails like that, but I'm not going to do it in this video. So that when once you reply this message, the message will look somehow official. You know, if you use your personal email address to reply, it will look like maybe you are not really serious with what you are doing, because your email address will carry the name of your website or the name of your company. So let's go back to our work and see what we have done. So it's beautiful. Now if you look at this, we have a map embedded here. So I'm going to teach you how you can embed this map here. So I will come over here and then I'm going to select this structure, select this guy here. So I will search map, Google Maps. So I'm going to drag this Google map and drop here. You're going to copy the location of your business or the address of your business and then you paste it here. So I can just come over here, copy this my address here. Sorry. I can just come over here. Let me copy this address. Then I'll come over to my map here. Then I will come over here and then click on this guy here. Then I will come over here, highlight, paste it here. Now you see, this is Abuja, and it's now showing the address of or the location of where my business is. So if you want to locate me via map, you can just click on get direction. So if you are driving, it will take you to where this address is. So I'm just going to update first. Now if you look at this guy, it's a kind of gray color that is being used here. So I will just come over here. Just come over here. So I'm going to increase the height of this map a little. So I'm going to make it like 400. So I'm going to save. So I'm going to increase the zoom to like 12. Then I will come over here to style. I'm going to select this CSS filters. So I'm going to reduce this guy to 30. This is beautiful. Then I'm going to click on this guy. Then I'm going to change this content width to full width. So let's update and see what we have here. Now this is beautiful. This is really beautiful. This is beautiful. So the next thing we are going to do is that we are going to work on this header. Now if you look at this guy here, look at how the header is very beautiful. And then we even have a logo here. We have this. If you over and this guy will be displayed here. We have blog, we have contact, we have about. So we are going to do that. So I'm going to close this for now. So I'll come over to my dashboard, to appearance, and then I'll click on menus. Now I'm going to give it a menu name. So I'm going to call this, let's say main menu. Then I will select primary menu. I'm going to create menu. Then let's see what we have here. We have home, services, blog, contact, and about. So I'll come over here and then I'm going to set my home page. So I can just copy it here. Just copy here, then drop here. Call this home. So here I'm going to come over to pages. So I'm going to view all. So I'm going to select services. Just going to select all of them for now. So services is supposed to be after home. So I'm just going to leave it like this. Now if you look at this guy here, you will discover that if you hover on these services, it will display UI UX design and web design. I'm going to show you how you can do that now here. So I'm going to drag this guy down here, then I'm going to drag this guy down here. So to do that, you just need to hold this thing and then drag it like this, and it becomes a sub item. You do the same thing here. So the next thing we have here is blog, contact, and about. So I'm going to look for blog. Okay, we haven't created that page yet, so I'm just going to leave blog for now. So I'm going to bring out contact. So I'm going to save menu. Alright guys, so let's preview and see what we have. So this is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to style this header. To do that, I'm just going to click on customize. So I will come over to header builder, click on it. So here we have our site title and logo, which is what we have here. And then here we have our primary menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to primary menu here. Click on it. Let's see what we have here. So what I'm going to do, I will come over to design here. So I will scroll down to where I have menu color. So here we have normal, we have over, we have active. So I'm just going to click here. And I'm going to choose the color for normal. So this is a color code D03749. So I'm going to come over here to active. Let's see what we have for active. Okay. So for active, I'm going to make it light pink. Alright, this is beautiful. So I'm going to publish. So I'm going to increase the font of this menu item a little. So the font size, I'm going to increase it to like 15, but let's make it 18. This is beautiful. Okay, let me reduce it to 17. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to come over to where I'll go back here. I'll click on site title and logo. So I'm going to change this logo here. So I'm going to click on upload files. I'm going to select files. So I'm going to look for my website design folder here. So this is my logo. So I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to crop this image. You're just going to do it the same way I've done here. Then you crop image. This is beautiful. So you come over to where you have site title. You're going to delete this guy here. So I will publish it now. I will have to work on my footer here. So I will just click on footer here. So I'm just going to delete this powered by. So I'm going to type all rights reserved. So I'm just going to publish it. I will change this text to wine color. So I'm just going to come over here. I'll paste the color code here. Beautiful. So I'm going to publish. Alright, so what I'm going to do again, I will come over to my header. If you look at this on active, it shows this blue color. So I don't want this blue color to show on active. So I will just come over here. I'm going to click on header builder again. I'm going to click on primary menu. I'm going to click on design. So active. So I'm going to change this color now. So I'm going to look for another color on active. So I'll come over here. Let me copy this color code here. So I'm going to use this color code on active. So I'll come over here. So I'm going to paste this. So we have DB8181. So this is the color I want to have on active. So I'm going to publish this guy. So this is so beautiful. So let me open our site on a new tab to scholarprime.com. Let's see what we have. This is really beautiful. So I'm just going to add links to our button. So I'm just going to start from, let's see, the home page. Oh, I think we did this already. We added it. Okay, here, view more about us. So I'm going to link an about us page here. So I'm just going to, let me show you how you can do that. I may not do it for all the buttons. I'm just going to show you how you can do that. It's very simple. All right, so I'm just going to add links to some button. So here, discover more. So here you can just add your services link. So let me show you how you can do for one. You can just come over here and then type services. And just select this guy. So if anyone should click on this button here, it will take the person to your services page. So you can do the same for all these buttons here. So I'm not just going to do that. Here, let me link my about us page to this button here. You just have to delete this. Then you type about. So you see it has been displayed here. You click on it. So when someone clicks on this link or this button, it will take the person to your about us page. So you can just do the same for your buttons. It's as simple as that. So I'm just going to update this guy here. So I'm going to make our website responsive on tablet and mobile devices. I'm just going to come over here and click on responsive mode. So I'm going to select tablet first. So I'm just going to come over here. So I'll select this guy here. So I'll come over to style. So I'm going to click on this typography. So I'm going to reduce this guy to 50. Perfect. So I'm just going to leave it like this and scroll down. So I'll click on this guy here. I'm going to reduce it to 50. So I'm going to reduce this guy to 50 as well. So you come over to this section here. You click on this parent container here. And then you come over to where you have gap. Click on one. And this is beautiful. You come over here. I'm going to change this guy to 15. Then I'm going to change this guy to 50. I'll come over here. This is okay. I'm going to reduce this margin bottom here. So I'm going to unlink this and it will be removed. So I'm going to change the font size of this counter item. So I will come over here, reduce this guy to 40. I'll click on this guy. I'm going to reduce this guy up to 40 as well. And I'll reduce this portfolio, our portfolio to 15. I'm going to reduce this guy to 40, to 50 rather. I'm going to make it 50. Now this guy is already okay here. So I'm going to reduce this guy. This guy has to be 15. It's already 15, so I will come over here to ensure this guy is 50. So I will come over to our container. I'm going to click on this parent container here. You can see that I have selected the whole container here. I'll come over to where I have gap. I'm going to type 1. And this is beautiful. So I'm going to update. So guys, if you have really learned a lot from this video, I would like you to smash on the subscribe button. Ensure you like this video, share it with those that are passionate to learn website design. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can make it mobile responsive, how you can do the same for all your pages here. You know, we have a lot of pages. We have website design, we have UI UX design, we have contact us, we have about us. So guys, in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can make all your pages both mobile responsive and tablet responsive. See you guys in my next video.